Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dig into a really simple but honestly game-changing idea, how you can totally transform your English with just 15 minutes a day. I know, it sounds a little too good to be true, but stick with me, because the logic behind it is rock solid.
So let me just start by asking you a question, and it's a weird one. Do you brush your teeth for 5 hours straight, but only once a year?
Of course not. That would be insane, right? You do it for just a couple of minutes every single day. Well, here's the kicker. Learning a language works the exact same way. Doing a little bit consistently is so much more powerful than doing a ton of work every once in a while. And that brings us to our first big idea. We're going to bust what I call the 5-hour myth. We're going to see exactly why those super long, once-a-month study sessions, well, they just don't work the way you think they do. You see, the real secret sauce here is something called consistent practice. And this isn't about studying only when you're feeling motivated or you have this sudden burst of energy. Nope, it's about showing up day in and day out and making it a regular part of your life. That right there is the foundation for everything we're talking about. Okay, so let's get into the why. What is it about consistency that's so powerful? We're going to break down 3 specific ways that this daily habit literally starts to rewire your brain for learning English. First off, your brain is basically a pattern-finding machine. It loves repetition. When you hear and use English words and phrases every single day, even for just a little bit, you're giving your brain those repeated signals it needs. And that's how stuff moves from your short-term memory into your long-term memory. It just sticks. Secondly, daily practice makes speaking feel automatic. You know how at the beginning you're translating everything in your head? It's slow, it's clunky, it's tiring, but when you practice every day, those connections between your brain and your mouth get faster. You start to speak more freely without all that hard work. And third, and this one is a really big deal, your confidence just grows. Every time you finish a 15-minute session, it's a small win. It's you proving to yourself that you can do this. You start building this amazing momentum, and that fear of making a mistake, it starts to shrink. All right, so you get the why. Now you're probably thinking, okay, great, but what do I actually do for those 15 minutes? Let's get super practical with your 15-minute daily toolkit. I've got 5 simple things you can literally start doing today.
So here's the menu. You can listen, you can shadow, you can read, write, or even talk to yourself. Now, you don't have to do all 5 every day. Just pick one that sounds good or maybe mix and match. Let's look at each one.
First up, listening. This is maybe the easiest one to fit in. Find a short podcast, some music, whatever. And here's the key. You do not need to understand everything. Just let the sounds of English surround you. Try to pick out a word here and there while you're on a walk or making dinner. It's all about exposure. Activity 2 is a cool one called shadowing. It's an amazing trick for your pronunciation. All you do is listen to someone speaking and you try to say what they're saying at the exact same time, like you're their echo. So you hear, I'm going to the shop, and you're saying it right along with them. It trains your mouth to make the right sounds and catch the rhythm of the language. Next up, read. Grab a simple story, a news article, a blog post, whatever you're into. And don't get stuck looking up every single word in the dictionary. Just try to guess from the context and keep the story moving. This is one of the best ways to just see how words and sentences fit together in the wild. Number 4 is to write. And listen, we're not talking about writing a novel here. Just a tiny paragraph is perfect. Write about what you did today. Today, I went to the park. I saw my friend. We had coffee. Boom. That's it. Just a few simple sentences to get your brain actively creating thoughts in English. And last but not least, my personal favorite, talk to yourself. I'm serious. As you're doing things, just say what you're doing out loud. Okay, I'm making breakfast. Where are my keys? The best part? There's zero pressure because no one's listening. It's an amazing way to practice thinking directly in English. Okay, so you've done your 15 minutes. Now what? Let's talk about what this journey of progress actually looks like, because this is where you really start to see how those tiny daily steps add up to something huge. After just one day, you get that first little buzz. You feel good. Maybe you learned that how's it going just means how are you? Then, after a week, English starts to feel a little more comfortable. You might see a sentence like, I'm heading to the store, and just know it means, I'm going to the store. That's real progress. And after a month, English starts to feel familiar. It's not the scary foreign thing anymore. It's something you're getting to know.
Knowing what to do is one thing, right? But actually doing it day after day, that's the real challenge. So let's talk about 4 foolproof tips to turn this daily practice into a real unbreakable habit.
Tip number 1, track it. Get a calendar, a real one, or on your phone, and put a big check mark or an X on every single day you do your 15 minutes. Seeing that chain grow is incredibly motivating. You won't want to break it, and that's what keeps you showing up.
Tip 2, use a timer. This is my favorite trick for beating that I don't have time feeling. Just set a timer for 15 minutes. Anybody can do 15 minutes. When it buzzes, you're done. You can stop guilt-free. But you might be surprised. Sometimes you'll be so into it, you'll just keep going.
Tip 3, pick the same time every day. This is huge. Link your English practice to something you already do. Right after your morning coffee, during your commute, just before you go to sleep. When you piggyback it onto an existing habit, it becomes automatic. It becomes, well, just like brushing your teeth.
And our final tip, make it easy and make it fun. Seriously, if you think sports are boring, don't read sports news. If you love to travel, read travel blogs. Get everything ready ahead of time, have your podcast downloaded, have your notebook open. The easier it is to start, the more likely you are to do it.
And that's really what it all boils down to. Just this, 15 minutes. That's all. It's not some giant mountain you have to climb. It's just one small step that you take every day. And that small commitment is what's going to unlock everything. So I'll leave you with this one thought. Consistency is a lot like planting a tree. You water it a little bit every day, and for a while it really feels like nothing is happening, but you keep at it. And then one day, you look up and you realize you're standing in the shade of this big, strong tree that you grew all by yourself, one day at a time. So the only question left is, what are you going to start planting today?